Hello po sa lahat. Ngayon, let's add another table called items. So start your MySQL on Apache and then open any browser. Now type localhost and then click on PHPMyAdmin menu. Next, select your database, the grocery store _db database. And as you can see, we have two tables already. So add new one, click on the new button here. Again, our table name is items, so let's type it here. Then type this for the column names. The data in this category ID column will come from the table category from this column here. This is called foreign key. Don't worry, as we progress in our lessons, matutunan nyo rin yan. For now, ang kailangan nyo muna malaman is that this column is foreign key. Yung data for that column comes from the table where it's originated. Then, item for the third and price for the fourth column name. Then we need to add one more column, so click on the Go button here. Then type description as the column name. Now, for the type, item ID is int with size 11, auto increment, and primary key. Category ID is also int with size 11. Item column is varchar with size of 255. Price will be decimal 10, 2. Lastly, description is varchar with length of 255. Once done, click on the Save button. Here, we use decimal with parameters of 10 and 2, since price could be with centavo. Decimal dapat ang data type natin dito. 10, 2 means whole number is maximum of 10 digit and 2 digit after the decimal point. For example, 10.25 or 5,000.99. Ngayon naman, gawin natin ang assignment from the previous lesson. Ginawa niyo ba? If not, then let's do it together. So let's add another table and name it orders. And then type these columns. First three columns will be int with 11 as the length, while the last column is date time, which obviously will accept date and time as a data. Make order ID auto increment and primary key, and then click on the Save button. Ngayon, alamin naman natin ano-ano ang mga parts ng dashboard natin at kung para saan ang mga to. So click on the Home button, then click on the Database tab. So these are the list of database we have in our server. This is where we add database just like what we just did from the previous topics. Sa next tab, SQL Tab. This is where you can type your own SQL query, whether it may be insertion, update, deletion, or even searching data. Next is Status tab, which is where you can find information regarding the MySQL server since the last restart. Sa user accounts naman, this is where you can find all the accounts created. This is to prevent other users from accessing your database if they're not authorized. By default, these are the list of users we have. Sa mga next topics, we will create our own user account for our database. Export tab is used if you want to back up your database. You also have the option of choosing the file format you want to download. The Import tab is the opposite of the previous one. This will let you import an external file which also supports different file formats. Next tab is car set, which lists all the collation and its descriptions. Engines tab, open a list with all the engines supported by MySQL. Default is MyASAM or MyISAM, but what we are using is InnoDB since we will make use of foreign keys. So now, click on the category table in your database. By default, the Browse tab is open, which shows list of data inside the table. The Structure tab is where you can manage your table structure. Maybe you want to edit a column name or add or delete column and a lot more. For the SQL tab, you will create and run your SQL queries here. Search tab is where you generate search queries for the chosen table, which also has a list of operations you can use. Insert tab is where you can insert records or data in your table. Nagamit na natin to from the previous lesson. Export tab is where you want to export your table or import if you want to import data or structure of your table. The Privilege tab is where you can create or edit existing privileges of users having access to your database. Operations tab is where you can rename your table, move it to another database, and a lot more. Triggers tab is where you can create trigger. We will have this topic in the future videos. Now let's go back to browse. This edit button here is used if you want to edit the data on a specific row or record. Copy is for copying the data and delete is for deleting. You can also use these buttons here if you want to edit, copy, or delete multiple rows at the same time. Export is the same with the Export tab above. Now, click your database from the left panel, then these options here are the same with the tabs we discussed earlier, except empty and drop. Empty allows you to remove the data in your table, while drop will delete the whole table with all the data stored in it. So that's it. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.